A reading from the book of 2 Kings. Today is November 7th. Our reading from 2 Kings is chapter 2. When the Lord was about to take Elijah up to heaven in a whirlwind, Elijah and Elisha had set out from Gilgal. Elijah said to Elisha, "Stay here, for the Lord has sent me on to Bethel." "As the Lord lives and as you live," said Elisha, "I will not leave you." So they went down to Bethel. Disciples of the prophets at Bethel came out to Elisha and said to him, "Do you know that the Lord will take your master away from you today?" He replied, "I know it too. Be silent." Then Elijah said to him, "Elisha, stay here, for the Lord has sent me on to Jericho." "As the Lord lives and as you live," said Elisha, "I will not leave you." So they went on to Jericho. The disciples of the prophets who were at Jericho came over to Elisha and said to him, "Do you know that the Lord will take your master away from you today?" He replied, "I know it too. Be silent." Elijah said to him, "Stay here, for the Lord has sent me on to the Jordan." "As the Lord lives and as you live, I will not leave you," he said, and the two of them went on. 50 men of the disciples of the prophets followed and stood by at a distance from them, as the two of them stopped at the Jordan. Thereupon Elijah took his mantle, and rolling it up, he struck the water. It divided to the right and left, so that the two of them crossed over on dry land. As they were crossing, Elijah said to Elisha, "Tell me, what can I do for you before I am taken from you?" Elisha answered, "Let a double portion of your spirit pass on to me. You have asked a difficult thing," he said. "If you see me as I am being taken from you, this will be granted to you. If not, it will not." As they kept on walking and talking, a fiery chariot with fiery horses suddenly appeared and separated one from the other, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. Elisha saw it, and he cried out, "O Father, Father, Israel's chariots and horsemen!" When he could no longer see him, he grasped his garments and rent them in two. He picked up Elijah's mantle, which had dropped from him, and he went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. Taking the mantle which had dropped from Elijah, he struck the water and said, "Where is the Lord, the God of Elijah?" As he too struck the water, it parted to the right and to the left, and Elisha crossed over. When the disciples of the prophets at Jericho saw him from a distance, they exclaimed, "The spirit of Elijah has settled on Elisha." And they went to meet him and bowed low before him to the ground. They said to him, "Your servants have 50 able men with them. Let them go and look for your master. Perhaps the Spirit of the Lord has carried him off and cast him upon some mountain or in some valley." "Do not send them," he replied. But they kept pressing him for a long time until he said, "Send them." So they sent out 50 men who searched for 3 days but did not find him. They came back to him while he was still in Jericho, and he said to them, "I told you not to go." The men of the town said to Elisha, "Look, the town is a pleasant place to live in, as my lord can see, but the water is bad and the land causes bereavement." He responded, "Bring me a new dish and put salt in it." They brought it to him. He went to the spring and threw salt into it, and he said, "Thus says the Lord, I heal this water. No longer shall death and bereavement come from it." The water has remained wholesome to this day, in accordance with the words spoken by Elisha. From there he went up to Bethel. As he was going up the road, some little boys came out of the town and jeered at him, saying, "Go away, bald head! Go away, bald head!" He turned around and looked at them and cursed them in the name of the Lord. Thereupon 2 she-bears came out of the woods and mangled 42 of the children. He went on from there to Mount Carmel, and from there he returned to Samaria.